You're about to waste money on the wrong handgun in 2026. Not because it's bad, but because something's already shifting. Months ago, I stood at a counter trying to trade in a pistol I trusted. Solid reputation. Safe pick, the kind everyone recommends without thinking. The guy behind the counter barely looked at it before sliding it back. That should have been a one-off. It wasn't. I saw it again. Different shop, same reaction. Then again at the range. Guys showing up with something new, not what they used to carry. No big announcement, no hype, just different choices. That's when it turned into a pattern. And the more I paid attention, the more it started to feel like a problem. Because people aren't just trying new handguns, they're quietly replacing the old ones. And if that's true, then something is taking over in 2026. Question is, what? Funny thing about the rival, nobody's discounting it. Back in June, I checked every dealer in town, kept an eye on the online shops, even bugged a couple of the owners I know. Price never really moved. No markdowns, no leftovers, not even a buy now sticker. All month, every rival sat at full ticket, while everything else around it blinked on sale. I figured maybe I could score a used one, but the last 3 I watched sold right at retail. No haggling, just quick handshakes and cash. Even the guys who usually bargain won't play with these. One owner told me straight, if you want a deal, look somewhere else. No bundle, no rebate, no promo, just buyers showing up and paying what's on the tag. Even guys who used to swear by their old safe picks aren't even asking for them first anymore. I watched one guy come in for something completely different. Walked out with a rival without even arguing the price. It's weird. Most guns eventually crack under pressure. This one just keeps its head. June's nearly gone and the price hasn't blinked. Doesn't matter who walks in the door, they're getting the same answer and still buying. Canik almost captured the damn market with this thing. They made a competition pistol that regular shooters actually want to run hard. And for a minute, it looked like they were going to rewrite the whole mid-tier conversation. I used to think the X Macro was just another hype gun. Then I started noticing something that pissed me off. Every time somebody walked into a shop looking for a serious carry pistol, the first thing the counter guy pulled out was the X Macro. Not the Glock, not the Hellcat, not the Shield, the damn X Macro. And the customer would look at it, hold it, rack it, and half the time, they never even asked to see anything else. That's when it hit me. This thing didn't just get popular, it became the measuring stick. I fought it hard. Told myself it was overhyped. Told myself the price was stupid. Told myself I'd wait for the next big thing. Then, I watched 3 different guys who used to carry something else quietly switch and never look back. Dealers stopped leading with the old defaults. Used ones barely sit. And every conversation about what should I carry somehow ends up at the same place. I don't love admitting it, but right now the X Macro isn't just taking over shelves. It's taking over the conversation. Everything else is now judged against it. And if you still think it's just another micro, you haven't been paying attention. Dust hanging low, late evening, line full of shooters acting like their gear already won. You know the type. Optics dialed, mags lined up, money on the belt. This is where the serious guns are supposed to take over. Then it starts slipping. Guy to my left kept wiping his optic. Another kept stopping between strings, checking his setup, like something felt off. Little things. But you could feel their rhythm breaking. And the GX4 carries already running. Not new to me. I've seen this thing before, and I'm still careful with Taurus. I don't hand them trust just because one ran well, but this one keeps putting itself in the conversation. While everyone else is stopping, checking, adjusting, this thing just keeps going. Clean, boring, no drama. Next lane over, dude with a full setup getting tight in the shoulders. You can see it. X4 guy doesn't even look like he's trying. That's where it flipped. I saw one of those guys pack up early. Next week he's back, asking about the same GX4 he used to ignore. Nobody says it out loud. Still gets called budget. But the same faces keep coming back with one, and what came after this made that shift a lot harder to ignore. The Hellcat Pro didn't arrive in a market that gives new guns patience. By the time it showed up, shooters were already tired of promises, revisions, and explanations. New pistols don't get time anymore. They get watched, and the Hellcat Pro got watched harder than most. New guns usually get an early nickname for their problem. A trigger issue, a feeding quirk, something people quietly warn each other about. This one never did. And that's not because people weren't looking. If anything, the Hellcat Pro was one of the guns everyone expected to complain about. High capacity in a small package always draws heat. It didn't launch with nostalgia behind it, and it didn't have a loyal base ready to explain things away. If something was wrong, it would have surfaced fast. Instead, what happened was silence. No repeating failure pattern. No quiet revisions. No fixed later conversations. The gun just settled into rotation and stayed there, and then it started taking over the capacity carry conversation. Dealers stopped leading with the old 10 and 12 round defaults. Guys who used to carry smaller guns started showing up with this one, and the ones who laughed at it early got quiet real fast. That's where the dominance comes in. Going into 2026, the Hellcat Pro dominates the part of the market where most new pistols disappear, the early scrutiny window where hype dies and real use decides what stays. Most modern guns don't survive that phase. This one didn't just survive. It started rewriting the expectations. That doesn't make it legendary. It makes it dangerous. I am done with these tiny guns. That's the first thing I heard standing in a shop in Fort Worth. Just killing time near the counter a few months back. Guy looked like he'd already made the same mistake twice. Work boots, shirt half tucked, the kind of dude who doesn't care about trends. Just wants something that doesn't piss him off by noon. I don't want another one that makes me hate my belt halfway through the day. That part stuck. Clerk didn't argue, didn't pitch, just reached back and set the HKCC9 on the counter. No buildup. The guy didn't react the way people usually do with HK. No smile, no nod. Just picked it up, checked the grip, worked the slide, then went quiet. Not impressed, not excited, just thinking. That silence told you everything. This wasn't about easy to hide anymore. That idea was already wearing thin. What he was really looking for, what more people are starting to ask for, is something they don't have to fight all day, something they can live with. And that's where the CC9 keeps showing up. Not because it's perfect. Honestly, it still feels like it's got something to prove. And with HK, people don't give you a pass. If it misses, they don't call it flawed. They call it overpriced. But I've started hearing that same line more than once. Different guys, same sentence, like they didn't plan to agree. And the one after this goes in the opposite direction completely. Ever seen a man pick up a compact pistol and suddenly get quiet because his favorite gun just lost its excuse? That kind of moment's got Shadow 2 Compact stamped all over it. The Shadow 2 Compact doesn't ask for your approval. It just shows up on the line and makes half the polymer guns feel like they're missing something. Steel frame, real weight, a trigger that doesn't need explaining, and a shooting feel that still makes people stop talking when it starts running. I used to think the steel frame era was over. Then I kept seeing the same thing happen in 2026. Dealers who used to keep these in the back are now putting them on the front counter. Guys who swore by their light striker guns would try one of these. And suddenly their modern favorites started feeling thin. Not broken, just smaller, quieter, less certain. I've seen guys start bringing this more and quietly stop bringing what they used to trust. It never needed a big launch moment. It never needed a campaign. It just kept showing up more often in the hands of people who actually care about how a gun behaves when the timer is running and the ego is on the line. This year, the Shadow 2 Compact is still doing the same quiet damage. Not by screaming, not by promising, just by being harder to shoot against than most people want to admit. And when the round counts get real and your favorite starts feeling light, and that's usually when people stop defending what they've been carrying. A Glock 19 just keeps showing up, not on purpose, not even planned. It just ends up there again. Table full of newer pistols, flashier cuts, better triggers on paper, and somehow that Glock 19 is still sitting in the middle like nobody ever replaced it. People say they're done with it. I hear it all the time. Boring. overplayed, nothing new. Then the Glock 19 Gen 6 starts floating around. And now everyone's watching again, even the guys who swore they were out. Not excitement, more like suspicion. If it's just another refresh, nobody sticks around for that. But if Glock finally fixes enough of the little things people complain about, now it gets uncomfortable for everything else in that size. What I keep noticing isn't some big moment. It's quieter than that. Guys run something else for a while, carry it, defend it. Then a few weeks later, that Glock shows back up in the rotation like it never left. No announcement, no explanation, just back. And nobody really wants to say why. Glock fatigue is real. I feel it too. But every time something new drops, people still measure it against this thing, whether they admit it or not. So if Gen 6 gives even a little more reason to keep it around, this doesn't go away. It just keeps getting picked again. What came after this one didn't rely on history at all. It forced its way in by making people shoot better, whether they liked it or not. Timer already went off. Early this year, cold morning at an outdoor class, hands stiff, people acting relaxed until the first string exposed them. You could hear it in the shots. Hesitation hiding inside every press. Next to me, a Walther PDP compact was already running. No talk. Just mags getting loaded. Step up. Shoot. At first, nothing special. Then it got weird. Not because one guy shot well, because everyone who touched it shot cleaner than they should have. One guy ran his own pistol. Shots drifting, quiet excuses, grip, gloves, whatever. Then he picked up the PDP, same drill, tighter. Another guy, same thing. Nobody said it out loud, but you could feel it. That shift, not preference, exposure. The PDP compact doesn't cover mistakes. It throws them back at you. Bad press, weak grip. It shows up immediately, and when you adjust even a little, the hits follow whether you like it or not. That's what people fight. Grip's aggressive. Carry isn't easy. It's not a comfortable gun, but I've seen this more than once now. Different ranges, same pattern. Guys struggling start looking at it differently. Not because they like it, because it fixes something they couldn't ignore. And that's why it's getting attention right now. Not hype, pressure. Once it shows you the problem, going back feels like lying to yourself. There was a time when this felt like the easy answer. Bring up a serious home defense pistol, and somebody always pointed to the FN 509 tactical, big, capable, ready for anything. Nobody really questioned the choice, and if you're honest, you probably nodded along. Then you actually lived with it. It's heavy. It's wide. It always feels like it brought more than the situation asked for. You don't forget it's there. You don't move around it casually. After a while, you start wondering whether all that just in case carries a price. Most people step away right there. What changes the equation is context. Late night, a sound you didn't expect. That moment where you're fully awake and already behind the curve. Comfort drops down the list fast. Minimal stops mattering. Elegant stops mattering. Margin moves to the top. This gun starts to make sense again. The kind of full setup people use to build piece by piece now shows up already waiting. I've watched the same quiet shift happening in 2026. Dealers who used to push lighter options are now sliding this one across the counter more often. Guys who left it behind are quietly coming back. Used ones don't sit long. The FN 509 tactical isn't built around ease. It's built around headroom. It's about not wishing for more when things are already moving. You don't choose it because it feels good. You choose it because regret would feel worse. And if this one is about room to breathe, the last one is about something even harder to leave behind. Somewhere along the way, something stopped making sense. I used to think the right gun would stand out fast. You'd feel it. Better trigger, better specs, cleaner break, something that made the decision obvious, but that never really held up. Every time I leaned into something because it impressed me early, there was always something that stayed with it. Not big enough to kill it, just enough to keep showing up. Little things. Over time, they didn't fade. They stacked. And after running through enough of them, the pattern got hard to ignore. The stuff that grabs you first isn't what lasts. So without really deciding to, I stopped paying attention to what felt exciting. Started noticing what didn't create friction later. What didn't keep asking for adjustments, excuses, or workarounds. That shift felt off at first because it's not a fun way to pick anything. And that's where the M and P9M 2.0 compact kept sitting. And I started noticing I wasn't the only one landing there. Dealers weren't forcing it. Guys weren't bragging about it, but more of them were leaving with it, carrying it, and not coming back looking for the next answer. Not pushing itself forward. Not winning anything on the spot. Just not adding problems. No single moment where it tried to steal the room. No cheap trick where it forced me to call it special. I just stopped giving me reasons to second guess it. After everything else, every experiment, every better option, this is where the noise dropped. And I'm still not sure if that's what I wanted or just what held up. So now you've seen the pattern, not the loudest names, not the usual safe picks, just the handguns that keep showing up where something else used to be. And that's the part that doesn't sit clean, because some of these don't feel like obvious winners. A couple of them, I push back on, still do. But that doesn't stop them from showing up more often than they should. So now you're stuck with the same question I had. Is this actually a shift toward better handguns? Or just a different set of trade-offs people are accepting? I've seen both play out. Some switch and never go back. Others don't say much after. So call it, which one is really taking over? And which one's just along for the ride? I'm Steve. And this thing, it's still moving.